India had a massive joint naval exercise, military exercise with African nations. Crazy stuff. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. You are very much appreciated. Hey, I love you. No, I don't love you. I don't love you. I don't know you like that. But I like you. I like you a lot. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is family. I'm always going to put you on track with what's happening in Africa. You know that. You want to know anything about Africa, motherland, you're at the right place. Thank you very much again. Today we're talking about India, right? This is India. Well, India is having a massive naval exercise in Africa. A 6-day drill, fellas. 6 days. 6-day drill with New Delhi's ambition to project maritime clout and boost influence against rival China. So, it's not because India want to be friend with Africa or wants to help Africa. It's because India wants to boost its clout against biggest rival China. Okay, who's participating in this naval exercise? The exercise is taking place in Tanzania. But with who? With Kenya, Mozambique, Seychelles, Comoros, Djibouti, Eritrea, Madagascar, Mauritius, and South Africa. What is this exercise all about? So the exercise includes activities such as counter-piracy exercise, ship control simulation, search and rescue operation, and communication crisis management.
This again is a first of its kind exercise for the Indian Navy and for India. It will be co-hosted by the Indian Navy and the Tanzania People Defence Force, and will also witness participation from 10 African countries from the east coast of Africa. As on date, we are likely to have 7 ships from our African partners and friends, with observers also joining in. So, AKM is a Sanskrit word, means unity, and it aims to bring regional countries together towards a common goal of maritime security and growth in the region, because in the end we are all united through the oceans.
So, Indians come to Africa, okay, to boost relationship with Africans. And how are they doing it? They want to do it through naval exercise. So, Indian naval soldiers came to Dar es Salaam to do exercise with all these African nations. And why is India fit to do this? Because India has played a major role in counter-piracy operation, helping project the country as a regional security power. Okay, so I think this is very interesting to look at this. It's nice to have friends, diverse friends, not just America or Europe. Okay, India comes on board as well. But you need to be a bit cautious on which direction you're going. It looks like the majority of African nations are turning away from Western nations, but they're turning the face to Eastern nations. It's beginning to sound a bit like we're running away from one colonizer going to the next colonizer. Why do I say this? Because clearly India is not in Africa because India loves Africa. India has come to Africa to counter the influence of China. Because China and India, they don't quite get along very much. They have border issues. Look at this. These are Chinese soldiers fighting against Indian soldiers against the border. So obviously, it's all about power. It's same as United States of America and Russia. So it's not about the African people's interest. And because I know African people love free things, free gift, they're probably expecting some gift from India, like a cheap ship or a cheap boat or some guns or some stuff like that. Absolutely crazy. Now, they're talking about piracy. The goal is to combat piracy. Let's talk about piracy a little bit. What kind of piracy we hear about? We hear about piracy in this zone, just next to Somalia. You see this red here? Well, 30% of world trade passes this place. 30%, that's a lot. So people go by from China and India to come to Europe. They have to go past Somalia. Now, the problem is what? Many of these boats and ships are being attacked. By who? By what they call pirates. Right? Well, you need to bombard these pirates and whatever that is. That's what they say. There's another side of the story that they don't tell you. Who are these pirates from Somalia? I mean, you've seen these movies, right? This movie with this ugly-looking Somalian pirates. Now, he's not ugly, he's just angry. You see this movie, right? It's scary. Hollywood can give you the impression that the oppressed person is actually the evil person, and the oppressor is the nice person. Well, how did we get to piracy? How do we see so many pirates right now? The reason why we see so many pirates right now is because you see that water next to Somalia? That water is for Somalia. Somalians used to go to that water because the majority of them are fishermen, used to go and fish in that water. That's where they got the fish, they sold the fish, they made the money out of that water so they can send their children to school, have food to eat, buy clothes and stuff. What has occurred? What has occurred is many international ships and fishermen have come stealing fish from these waters. Yes, they will put their machines and they will take everything, even the baby fish. You're not supposed to take the baby fish, right? They will take everything and destroy everything. And these Somalians cannot get the fish they used to get anymore to buy food, to take care of their wives and stuff like that. Now, alternatively, they let to go very deep inside the ocean to get some relevant fish. And sometimes these fishermen from China, from Europe, they will just station their ships like 10 kilometers apart. You can see them. You can see them from the horizon, but you can't do anything about it. That is how most of these Somalians became pirates, because they were angry. They were angered by the unfairness. You cannot come into a country and fish like this. And you're probably asking yourself, why isn't the government of Somalia doing anything about it? But the government of Somalia is not very stable right now. They have many internal issues. They cannot deal with the internal issue, Al-Shabaab, and deal with the ships that are stealing fish in the country. That is the main reason, at least, why we have pirates in that area. Now, do you think the solution is to bring the Indian Naval so they can fight these Somalians? Let me know how you feel about that. Again, don't believe everything you watch on Hollywood. Like Malcolm X said, the media is such a powerful tool. It can make you believe that the oppressed person is the enemy and the oppressor is the nice person. And now we're going to Tanzania. Or we were still in Tanzania anyway. Tanzania is a beautiful place. I love it. I've been there a couple of times. I enjoyed every single time I was in Tanzania. I had a lot of fun. Beautiful people, great souls, lovely hearts, very friendly, amazing food. Amazing food. Probably the best food I've had in Africa. No doubt about it, because of the fusion of the Arabic and the Indians and the African flavors. It's just crazy and insane. You need to go experience that. You want to come to Africa? I will definitely ask you to go check Tanzania. Some of the loveliest people I've seen in the continent. Now, in Tanzania, we have a problem because the main opposition party, Chadema, has been effectively banned from participating in the general election this year.
We give a strict warning. We will not tolerate any political party which is inciting statements of hate against the police force or the government, or showing any sign to breach the peace of this country, as we are heading towards a general election.
This is crazy because we don't know Tanzania like that. Okay, so the independent national election disqualified Chadema after the party refusal to sign a mandatory code of conduct required by all political parties to participate in the election.
There will be no second chance. Any party that hasn't signed today will not be allowed to take part in the general election or any other elections for the next 5 years.
So before you participate in the election, you have to sign this all mandatory code of conduct. Now, why did they refuse to sign? Because this specific political party, Chadema, believe that things are not clear. They are not 100% transparent. They need an amendment to some of the stuff so they can move forward. Now, I can understand there might be disagreement, but burying somebody or blocking a political party from being part of an election is never a good sign for a country that many people look up to. I mean, we look up to Tanzania for many, many times. I went to Tanzania the first time right during COVID, you know, whilst the rest of the world was shut down and people were confined in their houses. They couldn't get out, where people were forced to take V. Tanzania was one of the only countries, some of the few countries where people were actually free. Remember Magufuli, great president, lovely person. He said, I don't believe in this scam.
In all this government, no one wears a mask, including me. It proves that there is no coronavirus, and God loves this nation.
You've asked us to do the test. Well, we've taken a sample of what you call positive of. They taken sample from animals, from a duck, from a rabbit. They took mucus from a papaya or pawpaw. They took mucus from a fish. They all tested positive to COVID. Yeah. How can a fish test positive to COVID? A rabbit snot test positive to COVID? And the mucus from the papaya, you see those liquid, the white liquid of papaya testing positive to COVID. He said, no, it doesn't make sense. Your formula is crazy. I mean, we're not scientific, but we're not stupid either. No, we're not vaccinating people like that. We're not going to do that.
The ministry has no plans to receive vaccines for COVID-19, which are already in use in other countries.
Sorry, people can still go to work. People still go to the club and have fun. Yeah, and you know, at that specific time, a lot of Europeans come flooding into Tanzania. I was in Tanzania at that time. I had a ball, one of the most amazing time ever. Then a few days later, he passed.
We lost our leader, President of the Republic of Tanzania, the Honourable Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli, who parted this life from heart complications in hospital in Dar es Salaam.
It was very, very sad, and I was very scared because I felt like maybe civil war will start in Tanzania. Then somebody told me, no, usijali, hapa tuna tatizo. No, don't worry, Tanzanians have no tatizo, have no problems. Don't worry about that. That's Swahili for you fellas. So it's very sad to see Magufuli done a tremendous job for Tanzania, protecting his people. Magufuli refused to have celebrating independence, like the day of freedom. We don't need that. He said, take that money, let's build roads. You know, he refused the expenditure of the government. He took the money to refurbish hospitals. He did a tremendous job. Whilst the country was dirty, he went in the street to clean the country by himself. Unlike most African presidents who say, okay, you guys go clean the country, go clean the town. He went to the town. He used his hands to pick up the trash. Great man. But obviously they took him out. Same as the president of Burundi. I forgot his name. He also refused to administer that stuff on his people. He said, we will not believe this nonsense you bring in here during that time. We will not do that to people. We will not confine people. I mean, if they were wrong, why even we heard the millions of Tanzania unalive because they did not respect the restriction? You know what I'm saying? Now, both presidents were unalive in mysterious manner. Crazy stuff. Sorry guys, the microphone is probably dead. I'm sure you hear me from here. We have a brand new president and many people expected many things from her. And when she came into power, she reversed some of the policy of Magufuli, including a policy where the previous president before Magufuli had sold the port of Tanzania to the Chinese for 99 years for $3 billion. That port that belonged to Tanzania was sold to the Chinese for 99 years by the previous president. And Magufuli said whoever signed this deal was either drunk or absolutely crazy.
Tumelipa compensation kule Kigamboni ya ardhi, wawekezaji wanakuja kujenga wa China kwa bandari. Kitu cha ajabu sana duniani, hakijawahi kufanyika, cha kipumbavu. Bilioni 115 waliolipwa kule Bagamoyo. Kama wapo wakazi wa Bagamoyo, inawezekana hawafiki 20. Watu ni wa mjini humu na wala hera hizo zimepotea. Na wawekezaji hao wanakuja na masharti ya ajabu, ni ya kichaa tu anayeweza kuyakubali.
He reversed that deal, gave the land back to Tanzania. At that time, that part of the land was within the hand of Chinese, and no Tanzanian were right to go to that side of the land. And those Chinese were not forced to pay tax or anything.
Hiyo masharti wanataka ukishawapa pale, huruhusiwi hata kwenda kucollect revenue. TRA mnaisema iko hapa. Hairuhusiwi kukanyagwa pale wakishafanya investment. Wanatakiwa uwape guarantee ya kwanza bila kuwauliza miaka 33. Lakini ndio nawaeleza sasa. Lakini unatakiwa uwape rizi tofauti na sheria za nchi for 99 years. Na huruhusiwi hata kwenda kumuuliza atakaye kwenda kuwekeza pale. Na wao wawe na mandate ya kuichukua hiyo eneo kama ardhi yao. Lakini mnatakiwa mlipe compensation ya kazi watakayoifanya ya kuchimba ile bandari. Masharti mengi ya ajabu. Kwa hiyo najaribu kuzungumza haya ili kusudi sisi wa Tanzania tumechezewa mno miaka mingi. We are supposed to change.
So it's like part of your land belongs to the Chinese now because they're going to refurbish it. So you're giving the Chinese a part of your land to refurbish it, but you're giving them the right to have the land for 99 years for $3 billion. Magufuli reversed that. Now apparently this brand new president is coming to power. She has reversed what Magufuli reversed, and she is the one, at least a political party, have now set aside this Chadema. I mean, I understand we may have crazy politicians, okay? As much as I may not agree with you, I should fight for your right to express yourself as a political party, as an opposition. That's how you show transparency. You show transparency by allowing everybody to operate in spite of their thought. Now, if you are a winner, you will always win. And now we're moving to Mali. Here's Mali, fellas. Beautiful place, lovely people. You already know about Mali. They're doing tremendous thing. In Mali, they've started a program with solar power, okay? A solar power plant in a rural corner of Mali have joyful the village. The village of 3,000 people now have access to electricity. They never had access to electricity. How are they generating electricity? Through solar power. Congratulations, Peter Makofi. Why? Africa's hot, fellas. We already have a major, biggest sun ever. What do you need? The electricity comes from a mini grid of dozens of panels and storage battery operated with Relight, a Madagascar rural electrification startup. So this startup comes from Madagascar. It's great. Look at Madagascar. Okay, you look at Mali. Look at where it came from here. The technology comes from this place all the way to Mali. That's how Africans need to operate. I'm sorry, you don't need India to come into Africa to teach you how to fight in the sea. You need other Africans to come together. Okay, maybe you need India for a little bit. Okay, so you can learn from them. Then you can develop. Then you say goodbye, India. You need independence, autonomy. We are tired of being tied by whether it's Chinese or American. As long as it's a win-win business, yes. But we want to operate for ourselves. Now, Malians are doing it. Now, unfortunately, only 53% of Malian population have access to electricity by 2021, and this has to change. Now, studies show that Mali need about $1.3 billion to have electricity for everybody, and they can't access World Bank. They cannot access IMF. Why? Because they are not a democratic country. You know what a democratic country is? Democratic means you accept France, you accept Europe, you accept the West. If you don't accept them, you want to run yourself and for your people, even if you're doing good things, you're not a democratic country. So they cannot access any of those funding. How is Mali doing about this? Well, the Malian government has recognized the need for electricity, and this year it has approved raising money from telephone mobile companies, okay, and alcohol sales. So where the money is going to come from? From telephone mobile companies and alcohol sales. So telephone companies announced a 10% levies on telephone and internet credits top up, and a 1% levy on mobile money cash withdrawal. I don't know how to explain this. Okay, so basically, for every phone call, there's a percentage that's going to go into a bank account to allow the Malian government to generate enough money to have electricity for everybody. They don't need the Western nations anymore. So every credit top up for pay as you go. A lot of Africans, except for South Africa, a lot of Africans lack pay as you go. You know what I mean? So there's a levy for that goes to the government. And also for mobile money. Okay, mobile money is how we Africans sometimes send money to another friend, to another cousin, to somebody else, somebody in the village. You don't need to access bank because not all Africans have access to bank accounts, but they can use their cell phones as a bank account to send money to somebody. So you charge your cell phone with money, but then you send the money to somebody else's cell phone number and he can withdraw the money. Now for every withdrawal, 1% goes to the national bank to allow the Malian government to have enough money to build plants for electricity for everybody. Is this beautiful or not? No need for China, no need for India, no need for America. Let me know how you feel about this. Again, India launches the biggest naval drill exercise with African nations, including Kenya, Tanzania, Seychelles, Madagascar, Eritrea, Djibouti, Comoros, Mozambique. Is this a good thing for Africa? Mali is going to bring in money together from the people to have enough electricity for everybody. God bless.